All right, the new year is underway, and I want to show you what credit cards I'm holding in this wallet. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John, and I've managed to accumulate over 1 million credit card points by the time that I was 26, and subsequently spent all of them. Link above to that video. Now, disclaimer, I'm no longer 26, but I do still have a pretty large chunk of credit card miles and points sitting around. And if you're curious, 1 million points roughly gets me anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000 worth of free travel. Okay, you're probably sitting there thinking,
okay, how am I gonna get 1 million points?
well, here's the thing. You don't need 1 million points. You don't even need 500,000 points. All you need is maybe 50 or 100,000 points to start saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in your travel or your everyday spend. And believe me, it's not that hard to get that many points. So in today's video, we're gonna go ahead and see exactly how I'm optimizing for spend and saving by carrying 10 plus credit cards in my wallet. As we go through the video, and if you're interested in any of the credit cards we discuss, I'll have a link below in the description section. You're gonna be able to find a public landing page, a referral page, or my affiliate. So thank you in advance for your support. So we can see here, this is a
thick wallet
with a lot of credit cards. The order of operations goes as follows. First, we're gonna talk about the credit cards that I have from standalone banks. Then Chase, then American Express, then business cards, and finally all the various miscellaneous cards. And I'm gonna speak broadly through each of these cards. We're not gonna go super in depth in detail because trust me, I could go on for hours about that. I just wanna highlight for you the high level value that I get from these cards and how I optimize for them. I will be sure to call out the cards that I think are the most valuable and the ones that I highly recommend for everyone to take a look at. Cool? All right, well in that case, tap the thumb icon, pop a squat, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. So the first segment are standalone cards, and we've got 3 of them. The very first one is the Bank of America Alaska Airlines credit card. Now, this card is very specific in value to me because this is what I used to fly a $20,000 first class flight on Cathay Pacific. The link above to that video here. You're probably wondering, wait a minute, this is an Alaska Airlines credit card. How did you fly a Cathay Pacific flight? Well, the beauty in that lies in this strategic partnership between Alaska Airlines and Cathay Pacific, where you can use Alaska Airlines miles to book a Cathay Pacific flight. We won't get into the specifics of why exactly you want to do that here, but just know that's where the value lies, and that is how I use this card. And for anyone interested, the optimal thing here is to just open up the Bank of America Alaska Airlines card, get a sign-up bonus anywhere from 50, 60, and I think I've seen as high as 70,000 miles, and go ahead and redeem them for a Cathay Pacific flight. Of course, the net of this card is the fact that it's very hyper-specific to one particular redemption. Well, there are arguably other redemptions to be had with Alaska Airlines miles, but this one is the one that I highly recommend. But of course, very, very specific, and unless you want to do that specific booking, this card probably isn't a fit for the majority of folks. And the Bank of America Alaska Airlines credit card comes with no annual fee. Next card we have the no annual fee Capital One Quicksilver. This card is actually a really good card as a catch-all for 1.5% cashback across everything. Now, personally for me, it's one of the older cards in my wallet, but it's a great beginner card to consider because there's not a whole ton to really think about to be able to optimize for the card because it's just 1.5% cashback everywhere. And if you're looking for this category of card at the beginner level, what you really want to focus on is learning credit and credit management. And this one, again, because it takes all the thinking out of it, is a good one to start. Now, I will say, disclaimer here, I think an upgraded pick from this card is the Capital One Venture X. Personally, I don't have it yet. I do plan to apply for the Capital One Venture X in Q3, but I'm calling it right now. It is going to be the hottest card of 2022. Because when you get the Capital One Venture X, you will come out net positive $205. Let me explain. The Capital One Venture X today comes with a $395 annual fee. But in the first year, you're gonna get a $300 travel credit, a $200 vacation rental credit, and a $100 anniversary credit. You total all that up, you get positive $205 back in your pocket, in addition to all the other bells and whistles of being a premium luxury travel tier card. In the credit card realm, you rarely see a card like this where you're coming out net positive. So that's just the upgraded pick from the Quicksilver. If you're thinking, hey, I already have the Quicksilver, I'm past the beginner level, I'm looking for an advanced pick, that's gonna be my hottest card of 2022. And the third card to round it out is the no annual fee Discover It. This card is a perennial favorite of mine. This is my very first card I ever got. I got it back in college, and honestly, it is just a workhorse. This card is nothing really that fancy. But at this category, you don't need fancy, you don't really need bells and whistles. You need a card to get approved and to use. And I will say, with Discover It, it's definitely one of the easier cards to get approved for. And so once you approve the credit card, go ahead and figure out, right, what is credit management, making payments on time and in full. Now, it's not like it comes with nothing. It still gives you 5% cash back at rotating categories, things like gas, grocery stores. You can go ahead and look up that calendar. In addition, in the first year, they will double the cashback offering. So it's not like it comes with absolutely nothing, but the focus of the Discover It, and the reason why I think it's my top recommended card is A, it's easy to get, and B, there's no annual fee on top of the cashback and the double the cashback in the first year. Now let's talk about all the cards I have from Chase. The first two we're talking about are the no annual fee Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Unlimited. Obviously, I'm covering them up so that you don't see my card numbers, but these two cards are amazing because there's no annual fee. Now, there's a really slight difference between them. The Freedom Flex offers 5% cashback on rotating categories, whereas the Freedom Unlimited offers 1.5% cashback on all categories. That's really the big difference, and that is about it. I mean, these cards are two really, really good ones to get started with because, again, you are now invited into the Chase ecosystem, and arguably Chase has some of the most valuable cards out on the marketplace. You can go ahead and take a look at either one, but personally, I like the Freedom Unlimited just because it's 1.5 across all categories. But if you're someone who's like, hey, I spend a lot in gas in this particular quarter, and you see that the Freedom Flex has that spend at the 5% cashback, then I'd say go for it as well. Next up, we have the $95 a year Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, this is the first annual fee card on the list, and honestly, it's one of my favorites from Chase. It's kind of that perfect, not too much, but not too little card, kind of right in that sweet spot. And with the recent upgrades, I mean, it's such a no-brainer. This card comes in with 3x on dining, 2x on travel, and a $50 hotel credit. It's not giving you as much earning potential and as much benefit as its older brother, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, but it's giving you a little bit more than its younger brother, the Chase Freedom family. So I kind of say it's right in that perfect medium zone where you've maybe had one or two cards and you're thinking, hey, I'm looking for another one. Maybe I'm doing a little bit more traveling, I want a little bit more benefit there. What should I look to? And you don't want to commit to a $400 or $500 card. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is kind of my go-to card for that. Now, to round out my Chase personal cards, I've got the $550 a year Chase Sapphire Reserve. This still reigns supreme as Chase's top tier luxury card. And I've actually had this card since 2016, and it's an amazing product. I mean, when it comes to travel, there was nothing else to beat it when it first launched in 2016. Of course, cards have come and gone to try to take that spot. I will say, keep an eye, again, on the Venture X, because I think in 2022, it's this year. Now, as it comes to Chase Sapphire Reserve though, I haven't had a chance to really optimize it for the past 2 years because there hasn't been a whole ton of travel. That being said, there are still some features I love about this card and I keep it open. My favorite one I will call out is the 50% bonus I get from redeeming my miles through the Chase Ultimate Reward portal just by virtue of having the Chase Sapphire Reserve. In addition, remember earlier I mentioned about the whole Chase ecosystem. The Chase Freedoms, the Chase Sapphire Preferreds, and now the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Well, being in the whole ecosystem, I can actually pool all of my points together so that they all get a 50% bonus. So for example, the 5% rotating bonus from the Chase Freedom Flex, I can take those points, send them over into my Chase Sapphire Reserve bucket, and then when I redeem them through the Chase portal, they get an additional 50% boost on top. That right there is strategy, and that is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about how I optimize my wallet for spend or redemption. The next three cards we're going to talk about are all from American Express. First, we have the $95 a year American Express Everyday Preferred. This is a card that I would recommend to anybody. The reason I have this card is because American Express offered me an upgrade bonus where I would go from the everyday regular to the everyday preferred. The everyday regular, no annual fee. Everyday preferred, $95 annual fee. The upgrade offer was, I believe, spend $2,000 in the 3 months to get 40,000 points, which is unreal because just the normal sign-up bonus for this card is less than I think 30 or 20,000. So obviously I took them up on it. This card is purely in my wallet because they asked me if I wanted to upgrade for some points and I said, yes sir, I do. I would not recommend anyone get this because the annual fee does not justify its benefit. And the reason it's still open for me is because I have to keep it open for at least 12 months or else American Express are gonna take back their points. So you can see now, every card I have in my wallet, even though it's not the best card, serves a purpose or utility, in this instance, getting me 40,000 points, which I otherwise wouldn't have had an opportunity to earn with such little spend. Next up, we have the $450 a year American Express Bonvoy Brilliant. This card is one that hasn't seen a lot of use for me this past couple years because again, I'm not doing a ton of traveling, I'm not staying in a lot of Marriotts, but I still keep the card around because it gives me 15 elite qualifying nights every year. So what elite qualifying nights are basically nights that you would typically have to spend in a hotel that qualify you for elite status. And right now I'm going for lifetime Marriott's Platinum status, and I'm on year 7, so I've got 3 more years to go. And to get lifetime status, it just means I have to get Platinum for 10 years consecutively. So having these 15 elite nights just automatically credit to me at the beginning of the year makes it that much easier to hit Platinum status every single year. And when you have hotel elite status, it makes the request for upgrades or whatever it is that you're looking for just so much easier. Now, I will say it's still difficult to get upgrades, I think, usually in the United States, but if you're abroad, Europe, or especially Asia, if you have any type of status, you don't even need platinum or titanium. I think even gold status will get you upgrades. So if you want to be able to get upgraded rooms and views, consider getting a card or consider trying to see how you might be able to get status because again, that will just significantly increase your odds. The card also comes with a $300 credit to Marriott, so effectively it's only $150 a year to keep it. And the third personal American Express card I have is the $695 annual fee American Express Platinum. I have such a love-hate relationship with this card. For one, this card is by far the most expensive card in my wallet from an annual fee perspective, but yet it's probably one of the worst earning cards in my wallet, bar none. I mean, you get pretty much 1x across the majority of things unless you're booking specifically with airlines or hotels or through Amex Travel, in which case you're gonna get 5x. But everything else is just 1x. I feel like American Express could do better here. Now, what I love about the card though is that it has some of the best extracurricular or outside benefits of all the cards I have. So what I mean by that is things like return protection and purchase protection, American Express will beat out Visa or MasterCard any given day. So return protection for items, I believe up to $300. If the merchant doesn't take them back, Amex pretty much reimburses you within 90 days, of course. And purchase protection for items that are stolen, that are damaged, or lost, which is kind of crazy, up to $10,000. So let's say you just bought Apple AirPod Pros, one of them falls out as you're running, you bought them within the last 90 days, Apple's not gonna do anything for you. But if you file a claim with American Express, they are most likely, not obviously can't guarantee it, but more likely than not, they are gonna go ahead and reimburse you for those headphones. And so when American Express does it, compared to Visa or MasterCard, they're just faster to process the claims. It's pretty much, honestly, kind of like that within a week or two. Now, the reason this card is still in my wallet is not just because of extra protections, and those are nice and all, but it's because they gave me 50,000 points last year to hang on to it for another year by what's called a retention offer. Now, as I'm talking about all these cards, I did forget to mention, retention offer is basically when the year is up, you call the bank and you say, hey, I don't know if I want to keep the card next year, what can you give me? Now, some folks just straight up say, is there a retention offer? Other folks kind of ask it like, hey, I'm thinking about canceling, I'm not getting value, is there anything you can do for me? Sometimes they waive an annual fee, sometimes they reduce an annual fee, sometimes they give you points, sometimes give you points if you spend a certain dollar threshold. And so when I called last year saying, hey, I want to cancel my American Express, they said, you know what? Hang on to it for another year, we'll give you 50,000 points. So absolutely, I'm gonna hang on to that card for another year. Now, a better option other than the American Express Platinum is actually the American Express Gold. This has actually been my top go-to recommended cards for most folks if I have no idea what's in your portfolio and you're just coming to me saying, hey John, I'd like to get another credit card. What should I get? And if you're like the vast majority of folks who are kind of, similar in age group or whatever it may be, and you eat out, once a month, the American Express Gold, no brainer. Personally, I don't have the American Express Gold largely because I had it 3 years ago, got the sign-up bonus, the card wasn't very valuable, and I closed it, and then Amex kind of threw all these amazing benefits at it. And I haven't applied again because I'm saving my 524 slots. In addition, I don't eat out that much, but for anyone that does, this card is such a no-brainer. American Express Gold, $250 annual fee, $240 in dining credits, effectively $10 a year as long as you eat out. I mean, that is how simple this card is. It is such a no-brainer. Now, for that card specifically, we're gonna go to the Resy.com offer because if you use anyone's referral, you're not gonna get the highest sign-up bonus. And the Resy.com offer, I think, is about a 75,000 point sign-up bonus. So that's gonna be linked down below. Next up, we have the business cards. So the first one I have is the $95 a year American Express Bonvoy Business. If you're wondering why I have this card and the Bonvoy Brilliant, it's for one reason and one reason only. The Bonvoy Business also gives me 15 Elite Night credits. So essentially what that means is every single year by having the Bonvoy Brilliant and the Bonvoy Business, I get 30 Elite Night credits off the bat, which makes it so much easier to qualify for elite tier status because I believe Platinum is 50 nights. So instead of having to stay at a Marriott for 50 nights, by having these two cards, I only have to stay 20 nights because they both already add up to giving me 30 nights for more or less free. I mean, yeah, technically there's an annual fee, but I would say it's absolutely worth it to not actually spend, right, $100, $200 a night for those 30 nights. Next up, we have the no annual fee Chase Inc. Cash. This card is actually a card I use for tracking my business expenses. So obviously I've got the YouTube, I've got TikTok, I've got Instagram, I've got affiliates, I've got real estate. All of that expense is typically funneled through this card, so I keep it separate from my personal expenses. And the thing I love, again, about the Chase ecosystem, the points I earn from this business card can actually be pooled to my personal card. Remember my Chase Sapphire Reserve gets 50% bonus when I redeem through the Chase UI portal? Well, all the points I earn from here can be pooled to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then 50% bonus. Again, when it comes to ecosystem, this is what I'm talking about. Optimizing for your spend, making sure that you're getting the maximum value out of everything. The next two cards are business checking accounts or business debit cards. So I've got two. I got one from American Express as well as one from Chase. They both did come with a sign-up bonus. I believe the American Express one was a $300 sign-up bonus and the Chase one was a $400 sign-up bonus. I don't remember the specifics, but it had something to do with obviously deposit money and make sure you spend on the actual debit card. How I have it set up is Chase basically has all the incoming revenue, and the American Express one actually is pretty sweet. It gives a 1% interest, which I know it seems like absolutely nothing, but in the world of checking accounts, it actually is something, and that is actually where all of my taxes go. So for example, you get a check for $100, well, 30% of that should go into your tax bucket if you have some sort of side hustle because you're responsible for paying that tax because it's not withheld for anything. So that's the reason why I have two business checking accounts. And next up, we'll just round it out with 4 miscellaneous cards. Now, this very first miscellaneous card, the Charles Schwab High Yield Investor Checking Account, I think it's supposed to be this way or this way, whichever way, is my top recommended debit card. It is probably the best travel debit card, or honestly just debit card in general, because this debit card will reimburse you for every single fee anywhere in the world, no questions asked. That means if you're traveling, let's say to Paris, and you land and you don't have any euro, pop this thing into an ATM, it will pull out euro at as close to whatever the exchange rate is, and guess what? Reimburse you for all ATM fees. It is such a no-brainer card. I can't recommend this debit card specifically more highly. The one thing I would say is probably a challenge with this one is the fact that it's linked to a brokerage account, so you do have to apply for a brokerage account, but again, it's also free. It's just one more step to do. So when you open a Charles Schwab brokerage account, you can automatically get a Charles Schwab debit card. I know, it's a process, but here's the thing. All good things require a little bit of a process. Otherwise, I don't know, everyone would have it and we wouldn't have this feature. I still think it's a really well-kept secret because I feel like it's just not advertised enough. So I'm here to bring you that good. The Charles Schwab High Yield Investor Checking Account, my #1 go-to debit card that I've had since, I don't even know, 2015 or 14, whenever I found out about this. Go get yourself one. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions about it, because again, you do have to set up a brokerage account. And I would say though, Charles Schwab brokerage account is actually pretty solid. So if you're looking for a place to trade or invest, like that kind of can work. And again, this is not a sponsored video by Charles Schwab, though if anyone's watching from Charles Schwab, yes, I would love to partner. Trust me, I love this debit card. Next two up we have, you know we gotta do it, Costco and BJ's. You're probably wondering, why would I have 2 wholesale cards? Well, Costco, because come on, Costco keep the cost low. You know how we do here. BJ's because there was some promotion running during Thanksgiving where effectively I think I'm only paying $20 a year for this versus the $60 a year, and I said, yes, sir, absolutely. And the thing that I've noticed about BJ's, you can actually get things that aren't just like mass wholesale quantities. And so it's a little bit nicer than Costco because I feel like with Costco, like, you know, if you wanted just one of anything, like, no, you have to get 6. And sometimes I only just need 1. But that's why I have both of those cards. And the last miscellaneous card that I have in here is my tile. This is a really cool card. It basically, it beeps. So if I click it, is it gonna go off? Yeah, there you go. It beeps. If I lose my wallet, this thing will beep and I can figure out where it is. All right, stop beeping. All right, okay. Let's pretend it stopped beeping. All right. So this card is amazing because if you ever lose your wallet, which I have, now not a lot because there's a lot of cards in there, but I have, you can go ahead and pop open your phone app and it'll basically beep and tell you where your wallet is. Or vice versa, if you lose your phone, you can actually double tap this and it'll ring your phone. Yeah, this is actually a really, really cool gift. So, and that was it. That was, I don't even know how many cards that was. I think that was like 12 or 13 different cards. But as you can see, the majority of cards in my wallet have some sort of utility to them and they play into a larger overall strategy. Now, I'm not saying just go out and apply for every single card I talked about. You have to know what you want to do with the card, what you want to do with the points, and also the different rules and variations of rules that have to do with opening a bunch of credit cards. And if you have questions though, drop them down below. I'm happy to help. Again, folks, I appreciate everyone tuning in. It's been an amazing video and I will catch y'all next time. Peace.